Okay, so good morning again, and welcome to this consultation session. I will first give you a reminder of the agenda. First, Kurt Ciavelli, our coordinator, will give you why and how we are organizing this session. Then I will introduce an update of what has been done so far. And Sophie and Christophe will present you the future goals to be launched. First, housekeeping rules. All the microphones are shut down because there, as you can see, there are a lot of participants and it won't be easy if everybody's talking at the same time. There won't be any chat as well because it's not easy to manage, but don't worry, since it's a consultation, you will have the occasion to express yourself. You will use the Slido application, so you can already connect yourself. And then after this morning session, there will be as well an online questionnaire. So first we will, just to warm up, we will use the Slido. So please connect to slido.com, or you can also flash the QR code using the hashtag consultation Euromed. And we will have 3 questions to know you more, and also for us to adapt our presentation to know if you already know the program or if you are newcomers. So the 3 questions will be: which country are you from? Which type or organization are you from? Are you representing? And how much do you know the programs? So please go ahead, start expressing yourself on Slido, and do not forget, sorry, to remain connected during the whole session, because there will be later on some other questions. And then now I give the floor to Kurt Ciavelli, that is going to explain why we are here.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for coming. I'm not sure I will convince you for the purpose of this day, but we will try to do our best. You are really numerous. Thank you for this participation. It's important for us in the framework of a consultation. I hope you will be satisfied at the end of the meeting. If you are not too demanding, maybe we will see. About the context of this day. It's a first time we organize such a kind of meeting. It's a first attempt in the framework of the new programming period of 21-27, in order also to be closer with you and with the final beneficiary in general, in order to involve you better and at the first stage, once we are preparing new documents, new procedures, and of course also new codes. Nevertheless, this is a consultation day. It's not an information day. So I hope you will not be frustrated if we are not going in depth about the future calls, because the goal of today is to share with you our ideas, our main pillars for the 2 future calls we are preparing for the next year, 2024, in order to receive also some inputs from your side and to give you the floor. So this is really an opportunity for you to share with us your opinion, your assessment on what we are proposing, what we are going to propose to you today. Of course, nothing is official. We were waiting for this day in order to take on board your inputs and to propose draft documents to the monitoring committee of the Euromed program. So what we are discussing for sure can be modified from you first, but also and mainly by our member states, our partner states in the future. So this is, in any case, as you have understood, the first time we organized that, and we need also to understand what will be your participation, your contribution. So it will not possible in another context. It's really uncomfortable for me to speak to most of almost 300 people, not seeing anyone. So it will be much better to be in front of you, to discuss as usual, but of course, not so easy to manage. So I hope that you will find some answers to your doubts, to reply to us through Slido, and also to experiment with us this new way of communication between you and us in order to replicate in the future the same approach, the same kind of meeting on other topics, on other items, in order to be involved much better than in the past in our management. So this is the first objective today. So now I stop here and I pass the floor to my colleagues in order that you be aware about our state of the art at the present, but also to understand what we are preparing for you in the future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Cosio. So we don't see it anymore, but regarding the countries, we had several answers. We didn't see all the countries, but we had also countries from the southern shore of the Mediterranean, so it's good news. And we had all the countries represented in the program. So yes, mainly it was Italian participants, but we have also the other countries represented. So now the second question is, how much do you know about the Interreg and the Euromed programs? So, I'll just give you a few minutes to answer. Okay, so yes, half of the audience knows the Euromed program, but we still have participants that have no clue about the Interreg program. So we will give you a bit of information regarding everything. No, I'm joking. I will give you a quick presentation of the program as well. Maybe we can move to the last question. Okay, the type of organizations you are representing. So please express yourself. All right, so the higher education and research are mainly represented, but we have, as it's not displayed here, but we have also other type of institution, and we also have a general public as well, European authority, but and none of this listed. So I think we have all type of participants. Okay, so now a reminder for the person who already know the Euromed program and some fresh news for the newcomers. I will give you a short update on what has been done so far. But first, to give you the context, of the Euromed program. So you are, or you can apply for a project idea that you want to be funded within the Euromed program. But this Euromed program is part of a bigger scheme that is the European Territorial Cooperation, taking also all the other Interreg programs. And these programs are part of the European cohesion policy. Now, regarding our program, the content and the modalities are decided by the states that are participating and also approved by the European Commission. Okay, now the area. Well, we bring partners from 69 regions from 14 countries of the northern shore of the Mediterranean. We have a budget that is about 294 million euros for the period 2021-2027. And our ambition is to support the transition towards a climate neutral and resilient society that is in line with the Green Deal, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the Territorial Agenda 2030. Now, to reach this ambition, we have in our program 4 interconnected and complementary missions. So to reach this goal, in which the projects must position themselves. So you can, as you can see, the projects can strengthen an innovative, sustainable economy, or protect the natural environment and heritage, or promote green living areas, or also enhance the sustainable tourism. And these projects, well, we have 2 types of projects. We have the thematic projects and the governance projects. The thematic projects are mainly projects that will do studies, or projects that will do testing, test a solution, for instance, and projects that will transfer solutions already existing. And we have another type of projects within these thematic ones that is called strategic territorial, because it embeds all these phases like the study, the testing, and the transfer, but on the specific territory. And next to this, we have the governance projects that amplify the results of the first I was talking about, and improve cooperation between operational and institutional stakeholders. Okay, so what has been done until now? We launched already 3 calls. The first one and the third one were concerning the governance projects. They are closed now. We had 8 projects selected, 4 institutional dialogue projects and 4 thematic community projects, and they already started in January 2023 this year. And now we have a call ongoing that is almost closed. The selection actually is ongoing regarding the thematic projects, but only on study or test or transferring projects. And they will be selected next month in November. With all these projects, we cover already around, we should cover 40% of the program Interreg funds. And this is part of what we are doing. Also, we are consultating you today, but we'll also ask you a feedback on our first calls, the satisfaction survey. It was mainly on the application process and the tools that we proposed to you. So we received 285 feedbacks from former project partners and newcomers. The answers were from all participating countries. All type of applicants were well represented because, for instance, we had scientific applicants, consultant, political applicants, sectoral agencies. So everybody it was quite well represented. And we, of course, we received positive and negative feedbacks. For instance, the negative, it was like we had too much literature, documents, and information, but we also had positive, like the quick delay of answer when using our tools, thinking about the Q&A tool. So, of course, all the suggestions for improvements will be considered. but in the limits of the constraints of the program rules and tools that are also decided by the European Commission. So this is it about what has been done. Now I can give the floor to Sophie that will present you what is coming up next.
Hello, good morning from my side. I'm Sophie Staveis, and I'm the head of the project unit at the Joint Secretariat of the Interreg Euromed program. So I will first introduce what are the calls we plan for next year, and then we will consult you on specific topics. So just to start with, this is really the beginning of a reflection of what we will propose to the monitoring committee for approval. So nothing is decided yet. Today consultation is based on the JS proposals, for which we wish to receive a feedback from you, and the result of this consultation will complete our proposal to the monitoring committee. So it's really a possibility for you to express the needs of the territories, and it's what we want as a feedback. What are really the needs of the territories of our geographic area, and for the program, considering, of course, the strategic framework of the program, the thematic priorities of the program, and the types of projects we have. So this is the calendar of the course that is published on our website. Of course, this is regularly amended depending on what is really going on. And as you can see, we plan to have strategic territorial projects call in the first semester, and we will have it at the end of the first semester. But we plan to have on the second semester of 2024 a call for thematic projects, test or transfer during the second semester, and finally it will be open during spring 2024. And we will speak about those two calls now. So as Pascal said, we have different types of projects in our thematic projects: study or test or transfer or strategic territorial projects. This time we won't have in next year any call regarding study projects. We had already in the call that is now under selection, and we won't have it next time. So just to remind you, test projects are aimed to experiment common instruments, policies, strategies, action plans, solutions in general, already developed to validate concrete solutions to be transferred. Whereas for transfer projects, they are optimizing and sharing already tested solutions, instruments, policies, strategies, in order to make them adopted by stakeholders. And for the strategic territorial projects, they combine all those different types of activities like studies, test solutions, and transfer, but they are addressed to strategic topics for a specific type of territory. So in 2024, we will have one call dedicated to test or transfer projects and one call dedicated to strategic territorial projects. So let's see now what's about the test on the call, on test or transfer projects. Test project has a budget approximately of maximum 3 million euros and a duration of 33 months, whereas the transfer project has a budget of maximum 1 million euros and a duration of 27 months. All missions will be concerned, meaning strengthening an innovative sustainable economy, natural heritage, green living areas, and sustainable tourism. All of them will be concerned. Of course, we will address the topics that have not been yet addressed during the call that is under selection. So for the topics that were pretty much addressed, we won't address them. So we will reduce the scope, let's say, to what is needed. to what is still missing. And what we will ask you now is to vote for your priority topics. We based the list on the topics that were proposed for the call for territorial project we had until now. And of course, what we ask you is to take into account the Interreg specificities and the possible type of actions we can do in our program in order to propose the priority topics you have in mind. So go on for Slido, please. And we will do this consultation round for each of the missions. So we will start with the mission Innovative Sustainable Economy, where we ask you to pick up to 2 priority topics which are really important for you to focus the next call for test or transfer projects.
Just Sophie, we take a floor a moment to underline that there is an error in the list. Spain, of course, is included in the country as a partner countries for the Interreg Euromed program, and the Switzerland, no, it's not included. Thank you.
Of course, please answer only when this is of specific interest for you. You have an expertise on it. You are not obliged to answer to all of the questions, but because if you are interested in a mission more than in another, you can answer only to the mission you are interested in. Okay, don't be forced to answer to all of them, just to those that are really important for you. We will keep these results into account, of course, when we will be drafting the terms of references, when we will be proposing this to the monitoring committee. Of course, we will take into account in parallel the results from the selection that is ongoing. So maybe some of those topics are really already well covered by the call under selection, but maybe not. Okay, so we have mainly the focus on SMEs and business practices that comes first, whereas the uptake and transfer of climate-friendly innovation comes second, and the strategies for circular economy comes in third position. Of course, as you know, in this mission, we have 2 specific topics tackled. The one on innovation and the second one on circular economy, innovation and competitiveness, and the second one on the circular economy. So here the list brings together subtopics that can be integrated in both of those specific objectives. Okay. We have more participants than for the first question that were easier. Okay, let's see for the mission Natural Heritage now. Here again, we have 2 specific objectives for this mission. The one on biodiversity and nature conservation, and the second one on climate change and risk disaster. So please pick up to 2 topics also that are a priority for you there. Climate change adaptation and resilience seems to be the hot topic to tackle. Nature-based solutions as well. And the promotion of environmental culture that can be both targeted through the specific objective of climate change or the specific objective on nature conservation. Okay, I think that we have a good answer here. It doesn't change a lot the vote. Okay, thank you. Let's go to the third one. Oops. Okay, green living areas. So here we have the objective. The general objective is to secure and improve environmental and living quality. And you can choose 2 topics to how we can do that. Through plans and strategies, through citizens' engagements, through increased capacity of public authorities, etc. Sorry, I went too fast. Okay, let's come back to this. So my computer is quite long to to react. Okay, so we have from the yes, we have you can still vote, but we have a large majority regarding citizens' engagement for more sustainable living areas and increased capacity of public authorities in effective planning and financing for climate change adaptation. But all of them are quite well noted, voted, let's say, all 4. Yes, we are 50-50 fighting. The interest is really shared between the different options here. Okay, perfect. Let's go to next one. Priority on sustainable tourism. So here, as this priority is transversal, tackling all specific objectives of the program, so 4 specific objectives. And we have a lot more options, let's say, to concerning priority topics, as we have different priority topics for each of the 4 specific objectives. Compared, for example, to green living areas where we had only 1 specific objective. So this is why we have here a longer list, but you can pick up to 4 priority topics. maybe you will need a little bit more time here to read first all the possibilities and then transfer. So here the options are really, there is a lot of variety of type of variety topics you can choose, going from innovation and competitiveness of SMEs in the tourism sector. Everything has to be read with the tourism sector as the center of everything. So sustainable tourism plans and destinations, tourism models for tourism businesses, sorry, promotion of sustainable tourism use in destinations, but you can also work on circular economy in the tourism sector, etc. For example, you have here the hot topic tackled is sustainable practices and models in the tourism businesses. And then comes the sustainable tourism plans and destinations, or the promotion of sustainable tourism use of destinations. But the transition to a circular economy is not far away from that, as well as the efficient management of resources, risk linked to the over the natural and cultural heritage due to tourism, etc. Okay, we will take all these suggestions in our drafting. You are still voting, so we are just waiting some minutes more. Okay. I think that. So thank you. We will take all this in consideration once we will propose to the monitoring committee the thematic focus of the call for test or transfer projects. And in order to narrow down a little bit the strategic, the thematic focus to what is still missing for the program to reach its objectives. And let's go now to the call for strategic territorial projects. Christophe will first introduce you to this new type of project, how it came out and what it is about. And then you will have again the possibility to give your opinion through Slido on different topics to tackle.
Thank you, Sophie. Hello, I'm Christophe Meyer, project officer from Interreg Euromed program. And I would like to give you some information, first of all, on this topic of strategic territorial projects. And then you will have the opportunity again to give them feedback. And in the end, you will get some homework as well, if you are interested. So we are starting now to look at the strategic territorial projects. As you can see, this is a little bit new. We have already mentioned that we are tackling at the same time with this type of project study, test and transfer at one go. The second point that is important is that we are actually focusing on specific territories. We will have a look at those territories because we have already done some work before when we were drafting the program on type of territories. And the third point that is important is that these territories are linked to specific topics. We will have a look on this, and this is basically also the point that we will ask you to give your feedback. We also want to emphasize that it is one of the important aspects of these projects is that we are looking for the stakeholders to be already on board of the projects. So the scope of this project, it's not identifying stakeholders that have an impact on the territory. It is one of the ideas that those stakeholders are already participating in those type of projects. And finally, this should lead to solutions that are adapted to the territorial specificities. Okay, so the point is now how have we identified? I forgot to give you some more outline on, of course, on the frame of the projects, some figures. So you can see we have the idea is to have projects that last for 45 months. The overall budget is meant to be about 40 million euro. And a maximum budget for each project should be around 4 million. This is making it a little bit easy for you to calculate how many projects we are expecting to have on this strategic territorial level. Okay, then I think we can go to the yes, I forgot the two-phase application. This is another point that is different to the other thematic projects. We will have two-phase applications in order to make sure that the target of the application is really focusing on this type of projects. Okay, here we are finally. Now we are looking at the identification of the territories. Actually, this is the part that has already, we had already some work done, because when the program was put in place, we had a diagnosis of the territorial, the different types of the different categories of territories that are concerned by this program. And the idea was to have, of course, those territories that have a high relevance for the program. And the second important aspect was that we were looking at the project coverage so far. This is based on an experience that we have with the previous period, also with projects that have already been submitted. And here we can see that the focus should be on those categories where we have so far a medium or low coverage by the thematic projects that we are dealing with. So what you can see, it turns out that we have on one side rural and mountain areas, and on the other side islands that we consider to be in the focus of this specific type of project. So how can we identify these territories? There is a lot of discussion, of course. For that matter, we will provide you the slides of course, like always after the session. You will have opportunity to have a look at the slides, and you will see the links where you can directly enter into the discussions. We don't want to go to participate in the discussion itself. You can check it out and can have your own opinion about it. But Eurostat, for example, Eurostat has given already on concerning rural areas kind of a solution, which is based on the rural grid cells that cover well, the whole territory is split into rural cells, and those that are outside of urban clusters, the base is 1 square kilometer, are considered to be rural. Of course, it's always rural opposite to urban. You can see, first of all, you can see that a lot of territories are concerned when you look at our program region. You also can see that we have quite recently updated data because it was not such a long time ago that we had data for all countries that are inside the program area. Now we have them. And you have the Eurostat link. That is also what you can get, where you can really go into the map when you go after the session to the slides. So then you can have the details of this map. This is concerning rural areas. The identification of mountain areas, the discussion is even more complex and more interesting perhaps, but we don't enter the discussion neither for mountain areas. You can follow the discussion also on the link that we on the bottom of this slide, where you can have all these developments in the last decades of how this definition is connected to slope and altitude. So you will see what results. So this is now what we are working with. This is based on 50% of the population live in mountain areas, or 50% of the territorial surface are mountain areas, considered to be mountain areas. And then we have a NUTS 3 level where we are identifying these territories. You can see as well that a lot of territories are concerned by this approach. There is one detail. This is concerning all the Bosnian participants. Actually, here we have information that Bosnia as a whole can also be considered as a mountain territory. So far, the data is not covered by Eurostat, but in general, the information our researchers, the result is that Bosnia as a whole is to be considered as a mountain territory. Okay, now we are looking at islands. Here, unfortunately, we don't have an appropriate map, but we have a very clear definition of an island. The reason why we don't have the map in this case is because so far Eurostat is providing maps on NUTS 3 basis, which is not really convenient for the definition of an island. The definition of an island in the map context is quite clear. You probably would agree that it's quite logical. There has to be a certain distance from the mainland. It's fixed to 1 kilometer, and then there should not be a fixed link. And this is what we take as a reference for the definition of an island. Perhaps we are still, everything is work in progress, but mainly when we talk about how to justify the impact on a territory, we are thinking about competences. So we are not thinking about that it has to be, these partners have to be based on this territory directly, but that they have a competence to act on this territory. So this is perhaps also an information that we can give you already. Okay, this is now concerning the territories. Now we had, of course, to identify some topics that are linked to these territories. Here also we have not based our discussion on just among us, but also we have looked at relevant documents to identify the relevant topics. And we have, so we got an idea based on, for example, framework documents as Green Deal, Agenda 2030. And we had also one of the patterns behind was that we wanted, of course, to identify topics that are relevant for all 4 program missions and for both identified territories. So we didn't want to have to deal with a broad range of different topics for each different type of territory. So what we came up finally, this is our proposal. You can see here is the topic of waste prevention and reduction, and the topic of water scarcity for those categories that we are discussing, on one side mountains and rural areas, and on the other side islands. And this is now also where we want to start to involve you again, because this is where we want to take up the consultation. So the first question is an easy one. We are now considering water scarcity, and the question is, do you think it is a relevant topic, considering, of course, the idea of the approach, that it is linked to all 4 missions of the program and to the 2 types of territorial categories that we have identified. So we have an idea of the outcome, but it is also important to get a feedback on this, because this is also the follow-up discussion is your feedback is of course one of the baselines for the follow-up discussion of these specific type of projects. Okay. I think we can continue. Now this there were some
Only for those.
only for those. Some people have chosen that water scarcity is not a relevant topic for our program area, under the conditions that it should involve all missions and both categories. So yes, you have already understood faster than I could explain. What we are asking you, what topic should replace in that case water scarcity? So
It's important to think about those topics and territories. So this is a couple of a binary. It's not a topic itself. It's important to think about water scarcity or waste in rural and mountainous areas and in islands.
and we
or other
the
solutions.
context is replacing water scarcity. Remember, because
Yeah.
all those that are that agree with water scarcity, please do not vote in that case.
Okay, so I don't think we will have
Yeah.
more answers, as only those that are not interested in should answer. Okay, so energy would come, oh no, accessibility and transport would come first, okay.
Okay, now we are looking at the second, waste prevention reduction. Is it a relevant topic for the 2 identified categories of territories, still considering also the 4 missions of the program? Do you agree on that, or do you think this is not the case? Okay, I think we are more or less, yes, there's still some voters, but we are getting there. Okay. I think gives an idea, 81% consider this is also a relevant topic. And perhaps you have guessed already the next question. In case you do not think that waste reduction is an important topic, you would replace it by which other topic? We are giving you some ideas. And of course, this is concerning all those that are of the opinion that waste prevention reduction is not a relevant topic, and always considering the 4 missions of the program.
Sorry, but water scarcity, only the first topic proposed water scarcity. It was written waste scarcity. It was a mistake, but it has been corrected.
It was
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're getting more or less into the range of the voters that are perhaps of the opinion we should replace this topic. And yes, we see that energy is in the lead for now. We have also transport accessibility that is considered to be important and digital divide. Okay, I think it gives us an interesting feedback. It's something we can continue to work with. Okay, now the second part of the feedback is a little bit, this is what I call your homework. It is for those that are interested to, so far I see that you are, still 320 of you are still around. So somehow this is also good because we see that you are interested in this consultation. Concerning this second part of the feedback, you probably need a little bit more of backup information as well from your side, because we want to ask you, we want to go more into the details. We want to get a feedback from your side of what subtopics you think should be dealt in this in the frame of this type of projects. So we are giving you an example for example an example of but we don't want to interfere neither with your ideas. We really want to leave it open that you can think about a subtopic that you think might be relevant. It give you an idea just about what detail of subtopic we are looking at it or looking for. This could be a water imbalance between seasonal demand and supply. Water imbalance. So this is, for example, giving you an idea of at which grade of precision we are for now looking of ideas. For that matter, we ask you to go to the. We cannot do this on Slido. We ask you to go to the page. We will publish the link in the chat so that you can go to the page, and we will ask you to give you this idea and then to link this idea to one of the related topics that we have discussed. In this case, this example, it should be clear, it should be water scarcity, and also to give us an idea about the type of stakeholders that you probably know already should be involved, if you have an idea of it. So you answer to the questions that you think you have something to contribute. Then you will have a question that is asking for the mission you think that should be relevant, and also the specific objective concerning our program that you think should be linked to this subtopic. And if you still if you are very good with your homework, you can also already identify some relevant documents that inspired you to identify this subtopic. So all this you can discover when you go. Now we have already also some slide for you that is taking up. So this is what you will see when you go to the when you go to the web, to the page, to the link. When you follow the link, this is where you can leave your feedback, your homework feedback, to put it that way.
The link is already in the comments in the chat.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for your cooperation already. It has been, I think you have been very active. So we see that you're interested by this consultation. That's great. And yeah, it would be, you can be of an additional help if you go to the page and if you also leave your feedback, this part of the feedback on our page.
We will send you also a link in order to answer to our satisfaction survey for this event, which is important for us to have your feedback in order to know how much those events are interesting for you and cover your needs. So it's important for us also to have your feedback on that. And now we will open the possibility for you to ask some questions. You can go under the Q&A, question and answers
In Teams.
section in Teams in order to ask questions that we will display in order to answer to you. I will just want to remind something important is that we are not here presenting in the information session, presenting call. So we are just on the consultation process. Nothing has been fixed yet, and everything will be fixed by the monitoring committee upon our proposal that will take into account your feedback as much as possible and as much it corresponds to the specificities we have in terms of thematics, program priorities, specific objectives, type of projects, type of actions, and what has been already financed. So this is important for us to consider. You will have the possibility once we open the call and once we will organize an information day to ask everything about the call, but it's not now the timing for that. And maybe we won't have any answer to provide you, so.
Yes, I can start with maybe the last question I've seen, the difference between Interreg Euromed and Interreg Next Med, because Interreg Next, it's not a program, there are many Next. Interreg Euromed, very briefly, is limited to the north shore of the Mediterranean countries, and the Next Med is open also to the south shore of the Mediterranean country, including as well the northern one. So as Interreg Euromed, we cannot contribute to projects that directly involve countries from the south of the Mediterranean. So but this is a very simple answer. There are many other differences, of course. Being able to talk about next course, is there any calendar about type of, yeah, could be. But yeah, just a moment to, despite of not being able to talk about next calls, is there any calendar about type of incoming calls? Thanks. I think we showed that previously. Normally, the thematic call will be open in the first quarter of the next year, and the strategic territorial one before the summer period in June, probably. So in the first semester, both. not alone, if you want to do well. The call for thematic project will open during spring 2004. Yeah, exactly. And the one for territorial project will open in June. Does it mean what is this?
But there will be a period while they are going to be open at the same time.
So when we will exactly, on when we will close the call for.
It has not been decided.
Yeah.
Maybe yes, maybe not. It's not compulsory. We can have 3 months or a few months for the first call, and the second one opening at the end of June. So there is not necessarily overlapping.
But the importance here to have them quite close is to give the possibility to applicants to really choose the type of call that fits to its project ID. I mean, it's not necessary to go to the strategic territorial project because it's more time, more money if it doesn't fit to the priorities of this call. But let's focus on what your project ID is and what is the most appropriate for your project ID. And this is why we want to display information for both calls quite at the same time. But of course we will, our proposal is not to open both exactly at the same time because it's a lot of work also to define all the terms of references, to create the appropriate documents, etc. So we need some time also to prepare everything, but the information, the general information is given at the same time in order for you to choose the best option for you.
What is sure, it's very important for you that we only have between 30 and 40 million euros for the second call, the strategic one. So as you can understand, at the end of the story, only we'll have the possibility to select 10 projects as maximum. So you have to be really aware about your capacity to answer to the challenge that we are raising in that kind of projects. 3 modules, 4 years, are really a strategic or territorial approach involving all actors in such a kind of territories. The target is not the same for both calls. So if you are good in one, probably you will not be good in another. It's difficult to think that you can share the same approaches or the same ideas in both calls. So be careful with your choices.
There's a question regarding territorial focus of strategic projects. How is Interreg Euromed linked to other ETC programs, in particular cross-border, which use to work with these territorial specificities? Octifa and Alcotra mentioned for mountains. Yeah, an interesting question. We are aware about this. We have seen also that other programs, not only the 2 mentioned, but other ones have a similar approach. And we have, of course, we are informed, but so far our process is not aligned with programs. Of course, we are in exchange and we are trying to communicate with them, but we are not aligning this call and this approach so far with these programs.
These issues is related not only with the cross-border program, but also with the thematic programs directly managed by the European Commission, like LIFE and Europe Horizon. So, of course, our idea is to be as much close as possible to the territories, involving all the main stakeholders operating in the same territory, in the same topic. For instance, if you have to manage waste, what we are looking for is people directly involved in the management of waste in those territories, and eventually to try to create bridges, links with other programs like LIFE operating in the same territory. So this is the idea of also of a strategic territorial project. It's not only a thematic project, it's a strategic one. So with a real complete overview of all links, bridges you can develop and implement in terms also for capitalization and transferring of results at the end of the project. But it's too early to speak about that. This is exactly the contents for an information day on the call, not for today.
Yeah, there is also a question on the target of participants, if there will be a difference between both. And yes, this is why also in our feedback here, as your homework, we are asking you which are the key stakeholders. It's not defined yet. We cannot say you which ones, but we will work on that in order really to focus on the correct stakeholders. Yeah. Do we have other questions?
Many countries is too early, definitely too early to decide, to tell you how many countries. This is a topic for the monitoring committee, issues for the topic. So in any case, we will have the need to have also a representative quite important. I don't know how many, but at least I think more than for a thematic project, probably.
We don't have other questions.
So as I said at the beginning, it was a first test. We hope was satisfactory for you, not for having all answers about future calls, but in order to understand what we are preparing and what we will propose to the country partners. This is also was decided also in the framework of the new regulation. As you probably know, the European Commission asked to all programs to be much more in touch with final beneficiaries before having everything decided. So for us, it was our first purpose for the today meeting. I don't know if the formula is the right one. Probably we will have to improve something, but you were more or less 300 people knowing quite well our program, having checked the registrations. So now it's also up to you, as Christophe proposed, eventually to continue to send your feedback to us, if you wish, of course, in order we complete this meeting also through better formula, written documents, where you will have the possibility to express yourself in a more complete way. So if we don't have any other question, I think we can close the meeting here today. And of course, we are going now to take into account your proposal to to draft our documents to submit to the monitoring committee. And normally we will be able to have more concrete and official information about those calls at the beginning of the next year. So that's all. Thank you very much. Really difficult to speak to 300 people not having noise at all, except my colleagues here. So thank you for your patience, and don't hesitate also to evaluate this session. It's important in order to receive feedback also on the contents in the future. Thank you very much, and I say goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Yes, we have someone raising the hand. I don't know, we can. Okay. No, it was not a question. Okay. Thank you, bye.
Bye.